Paul. Yes. And chapter 7, verse 20. Yeah. And inasmuch as not without an oath he was made priest. Ouch. Now, this sounds somewhat confusing. Yeah. But I'm thinking if you're a real kind of a teacher, yeah, you might study it for yourself. For in verse 21, for those priests were made without an oath. Oh, they were hereditary priests? Yes, they were born in the family. But God swore, yes, but this with an oath. By him that said unto him, the Lord did swear and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. See, this was a type and a shadow of the coming of Jesus. Yes, his death and resurrection, ooch, in that he is the high priest in heaven. Now, this Jesus made a surety of a better testament. And they truly were many priests, because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death. Oh, but this man, because he continueth ever, hath an unchangeable priesthood. Now, in verse 25, wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto God by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them. Now, there's a possibility that Jesus could be praying for me today, could be praying as the high priest of heaven. Now, the thought of Jesus, yes, praying for me. I know you probably said, well, Paul could use some prayer today. Yesterday I said, well, it's going to be very frustrating. Yes. But I made a few changes to some of those that would like to volunteer menstruation, some adjustments. Oops. And I'm not going to tell you about it today, but I think it's very, very stimulating to those that want to volunteer. Now, let's say this Jesus. It says here, but this man, because he should it say forever or ever? It could be that some Catholics are saying this is the wrong translation. For the Pope in Catholicism that said, well, you have to get married because she's pregnant. Yeah. I would say that any citizen that can prove that their parents lied about their marriage license because she got pregnant. Yes. I do know that I was almost, yes, an abortion. But if I had been aborted, as much as we dislike the thought, is it, well, it was the first trimester, right? Now we're back to that 90 days, and the idea that it's better to have two wrongs than a right. Should you fraudulently have marriage licenses issued? Yes. Should you have animosity against the child that was born in wedlock? Yes, because they're the cause of the duress and fraud. Should you, the offspring of any, well, conception, yeah, ever be targeted for the abuse of the relationship of your parents? Now, I know Catholics have their way and belief. But it could be that a large number of Catholic individuals that grew up in a Catholic family where eventually you don't annul marriages, do you? But state law says that you can. What if you thought, yes, as an adult American citizen, that I'm going to sue for the annulment of the marriage because my parents, yes, did get married because of the duress of pregnancy? I'm going to sue for the annulment of the marriage because it was fraudulent. I'm going to sue for the annulment of the marriage because they were underage. Yeah. See, we have a lot of influence of religion in the decision making of young people. And it could be, okay, that if you conceive a child out of wedlock before the age of 18, that I'm going to have a little talk with the Pope about what you're going to do right now. Because my thought is, it is better to be truthful about everything in life, yes, than to hide anything. Now, Jesus could be interceding for me today. He is the high priest. Jesus is? Yeah. Yeah, he is. And then for as much, oh, wait, what's this? Liveth forever making intercession. Oh, oh. Now in verse 26, for such an high priest became us. Yeah. Who is holy. Yes. Harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens. My high priest, his name is Jesus. Yes, and he's holy. Oh, he's harmless. Pooch. He's undefiled. Yeah. He's separate from all these sinners like me. And he was made higher than the heavens, so that when praying for me right now, praying for me, he's praying. Excuse me. I think a large number of Catholics need to look at the marriage license and application of their parents. Yes. And we're not going to use religion as an excuse why you can have a child out of wedlock. Yes. And for all of those that do have sexual relations before the age of 18, let's go ahead. I just want to encourage you to never lie about what you personally experienced. Now, for those states that said, oh, look at you, you obligated Missouri, why don't you get me the states that decided to change the abortion laws again? If I find out there was a large number of fraudulent marriage applications and licenses in those states, yeah, because you're going to make an honest woman of her, yes. And then I found out there was a large number of divorces, yeah. I would sue every state that decided right the fuck now that no, we're just going to make it impossible to get. Well, look at you and all the abuse that you're causing. You would rather have people lie about their relationships than tell the truth. Bible Belt, pooch! Give me all of the ages of the actual individuals that have applied for marriage applications and then the births of their children. Because there could be a huge class action lawsuit about changing abortion laws because of the Let's go ahead right now. Let's go ahead.